Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Many people are familiar with Gushungo Mugabe's blue roof mansion. He was not the only one who was corrupt and amassed a lot of wealth. In a recent ongoing, divorce case of former finance minister Ignatius Chombo, the couple's wealth has been listed out. The wife is claiming no fewer than 15 cars as part of her share. The list of stands and houses is impressive. He has got a farm, and God knows how many other business operations he has. This is just amazing. In a country where even the country's referral hospitals are in a really sorry state. We inherited them from the white regime at independence, but we have failed to maintain them. We have failed to make sure that they've got basic needs, even things like painkillers. And yet, our leaders have had the money to build an imposing mansion like Mugabe's blue roof. Many believe that it costed a cool 3 to 4 billion US dollars. This has been Africa's problem, and in particular Zimbabwe's problem, corruption. And we have let it grow and take root and become so rampant that our political leaders have believed they can build such monuments and get away with it. It speaks volumes of us as a nation. How did we allow this to happen? Welcome to the program, Benjamin.
Good day to you and good day to our viewers. Thank you for joining us. Yesterday I think we had a good discussion, and in that discussion I was talking about, how the citizens of Zimbabwe, us, have continuously covered up for our leaders and their failure. We have created and made them into demigods that they do no wrong, and you should not ask anything or whatever they are doing. They're shielded, and we are the shield ourselves. Now, if you are to give leaders a blank check like that, or the keys to the nation and its resources, no questions asked, you're definitely looking for trouble. And we have been seeing corruption grow each and every single time. We hear about Gushungu's, house. Then you look left and right, you are now seeing that, oh no, Gushungu's house is just one of the many mansions out there. And when you look at the people that actually own these big properties and vast amount of wealth, they were just civil servants. Their paycheck from government could not have ever afforded such a lifestyle. And it's obvious. It's black and white. They had to have amassed such wealth through corrupt activities. And we are hearing even, you know, across borders now. That's where they are. We are hearing, you know, banks in South Africa questioning some activities of people that are connected with leaders and their activities. So it's no surprise because, like I said in the very beginning, the people of Zimbabwe have now taken upon themselves to be shields to protect those in public offices. So we are our own worst enemy. Like I said yesterday, we are our own worst enemy.
I'd like to play a video of a familiar figure in Zimbabwe, social media, Java, showing off one of the properties in Zimbabwe.
Yes, yes. Tiri panapa tina boss Mike tine mawachede ma 20,000 maring heda twerete maguchi takachena vakutsvakidza mansion. Water fish. The three story. They need to know in case they don't. They need to know. What's my
What I find really disappointing in this is those who are the corrupt ones are not even ashamed of showing off their wealth. Why would somebody buy a watch worth 20,000 when millions of people in the country cannot even afford one decent meal? When millions, the overwhelming majority of our people, are still living in mud huts. The difference is just too vast. And like I said before, our biggest problem is we have let it happen. These people are now confident that they can loot and get away with it. And this has been at the heart of our problem. As long as somebody feels they can do something wrong and get away with it, of course they will do it. And hence why we are where we are.
You know, if you want to get a clear picture of many Zimbabweans out there, I I witnessed, one, very famous so-called prophet. His name is Makandiwa. At one point, Makandiwa had been selling holy bricks for $10 each, one brick, something that you can go and buy for, I think, 50 cents or 30 cents at the current market rate. And he said this is an anointed brick, and whoever purchases this brick will go on to build houses and find accommodation and stuff like that. And he's got a lot of followers and a lot of people in the thousands who bought these bricks. And in Harare, he has built a mansion with a helipad on top. One of the houses that can compete with the Gushungu house, the Kasukuwere house, the Chiwenga house, the list goes on. And then you picture and you ask yourself, of those Zimbabweans that actually went and bought this anointed brick, did they even have a stand to build that house that they wanted? The answer is no. So my point here is, how can a people be so naive and gullible that we can easily be duped not just once, but numerous times with the same trick over and over again? Corruption is rampant. We had the opportunity. Zimbabwe's case, people say it's difficult. It's not difficult because a lot of, organizations, entities, countries, they love us so much. They do the dirty work for us and give us answers. We had a well-documented documentary that, even the simple mind could understand what was going on. The gold mafia. We were told what was happening to our wealth, how it's going and how it's, leaving the country and who's taking it. A lot of effort was put into that documentary to show us that, hey, this is what is happening. You need to challenge a system. Unfortunately, it was a wasted effort for those that actually wanted to help us, because nothing has been done. Zimbabweans are comfortable with it. If they had the best opportunity, they would also join. And now they have actually come up with a word. I don't know how they joined it together, but they call it kungwavangwav. It's now a normal thing for us to go stealing and making deals with that one and this one and so forth. Zimbabweans are their own worst enemy. And there is absolutely no way we can deny that, because we've been given, like I said, we've been given the solutions, we've been given the answers, we've been given the corrections. But up to today, 25 years in, we've done absolutely nothing other than just been blundering from pillar to post. looking for solutions that do not exist and call it thinking outside the box?
I think the tragedy of our failure to rein in our corrupt leaders has allowed the opposition leaders to join in. When the GNU was formed in 2008, people expected the opposition leaders to make the most of that opportunity, to implement the democratic reforms that would have ended the ZANU-PF one-party dictatorship. What actually happened is that Mugabe bribed the opposition leaders with the trappings of high office. The expensive E-Class Mercedes-Benz for all the deputy ministers, the two deputy prime ministers, and Prime Minister Morgan Tsvangirai himself. The very generous salaries and allowances all round. And for Tsvangirai, the US $4 million mansion in the Highlands. For most of us, we thought that was the limit of the bribe. It has since emerged that they got a lot more. The bottom line is the opposition were confident they could take their share of the spoils of power and get away with it. Because they could see these ZANU-PF thugs who themselves had got the spoils of power and were enjoying them and were getting away with it. So as you can see, the problem has been compounded by our failure to say in no uncertain terms that no leader can amass so much wealth and expect to get away with it. Absolutely out of the question. It's an outrage that somebody can build a mansion like that, Kasukuwere's mansion, bulletproof glasses, reportedly with 50 bedrooms. And yet, just down the road, Parenyatwa Hospital has been left in such a sorry state of advanced rot and decay that you go in there, a hospital that used to be so good that we're looking at, you could do advanced surgery. They could not even do some of the most basic operations because they didn't even have something as basic as painkillers. How is that possible? Where was he getting all that money to build that? When the country's basic needs were being ignored. As a people, we have failed to articulate that position, that is totally unacceptable. We cannot have a situation where those in power are looting the nation's wealth at the expense of the masses. That's not why you are there in power. But our failure to articulate that position is given those in power the confidence they can do as they please and they'll get away with it. And so it's no surprise at all that the opposition have themselves joined in the looting. And that's compounding the nation's problem. Because the primary purpose of the MDC-CCC was to implement the democratic reforms to stop ZANU-PF rigging the elections and thus end the dictatorship. And so by failing to address that fundamental problem of allowing these people to get away, to believe they can get away with so much looting, we have allowed the ruling elite in ZANU-PF and the opposition to believe they can amass as much wealth as they like, they'll get away with it. I think we need to send a clear message that all those who have amassed wealth, the day Zimbabwe has a meaningful democratic change, will be asked to account for it. Their estate, even if they are dead, their estates will be asked to account for it. If they cannot account for it, it will be taken away. That message must be sent and made very loudly and very clearly, because that's the only way we are going to end this culture of getting into public office to loot. What we have seen in Zimbabwe is totally unacceptable. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, and have a good evening.